pumped to have footy back in the top end.
Ready to go, magnificent arena. Have a look at this. Curtis Du Bois, Robert Finlay and Craig Fleer, the three men that are in charge at the moment and in great form. Now it's up to the players. Witts been a sparkling form, backing up his best and fairest year of last year. Lemon's got the ball, sent it forward here for Gold Coast. Long ball, Swallow was there, couldn't quite win it in the air. Plowman able to sock it off the ground. Murphy saves the day in the end. And Gold Coast already pushing as Cripps tries to put his mark on this game.
Some good work from Williamson in the back half there. Gee, Cripps launched himself there, didn't he?
Unlucky not to be paid. Can't help but notice the ground just looks like carpet.
It does.
So Fisher came back with a bang, didn't he, this year with those 4 goals. Betts, we've seen him do that in the pocket before, haven't we? Next to that boundary line. Butterick gets it to Ellis. And then Ellis to Bowes, that's holding the ball. Good stuff by Martin. So the ex-teammate, so he gets himself into a bit of a jam and gets it to Cripps.
He does, and Cripps never wastes the ball. Here's Casbolt. Long, long way out. Got one-on-one deep in the square, as you can see, but didn't quite use the ball as well as he should have.
No, and I think that's where Levi's got to go back and just play within his limitations, not go for short kicks like that. It's not his game.
Rankin, Bowes there, couldn't hold the mark. Wiedering, been in good form. Gee, that's a good tackle by Touk Miller. And he's got him as he pinned the ball.
And what I mean by that with Levi is he doesn't disguise it very well. There's no real finesse in the way he kicks the footy, so telegraph that ball that got intercepted.
Much simpler to gain the meterage, I guess, and go forward for him. There's the tackle, short ball here. This guy's been sparkling form. Lockie Weller, game 99 for him tonight. Sends a long ball on the head of Swallow. Gee, it was almost paid man in front. Man at the back had a fair bit of it in Doherty as well.
That was a mark for sure. Doherty, I thought he held it long enough. I don't know, is it just me, or does it seem they have to hold it for, maybe not. Umpire might have had a lot better view. It was sort of knocked out halfway down.
So Murphy on the bottom of that.
It does seem, BT, I don't know whether it's just me the last few weeks, they have to hold it for longer.
There've been a couple, yeah, for sure.
Setterfield got his hands on it, couldn't quite. Martin, prominent early, gee. Did he have it too long? No. Curnow, Duck talked about his form pre-match. Fisher, Plowman, what a reliable defender he is, Plowman. Down the line, just eluded Cripps. That was clever by Powell, got it. And Graham has slashed it out of bounds on the forward.
Caleb Graham there, just in his 6th game of footy. Setterfield with the free to come back in, just deciding on which footy they've got. Plenty of them spread around the ground here. Doherty, the backline leader. I've got to agree with you about this surface. It is immaculate. It really is like carpet. Martin back into the side for the Blues, along with Pitnet. A low ball there, had to get down and test it, Petrevski-Seaton. Just getting a feel of things at the moment, and that's not such good news to Fisher.
So Harbrow managed last week, back in the team, and out of play. Abby, just a quickie, has Swallow got the job on Doherty? Is that the way it is, do you think? Have you had a look at that?
Yeah, I'm keeping a good eye on that at the moment, Bruce. I'll come back to you, but it does look like they are paying a little bit of close attention to each other, as you can see.
Thanks for that, Abby. So Murphy over the top, Setterfield in that back pocket, good kick. Gee, Martin up and about BT.
Yeah, looking good and sharp. There's Walsh out wide, and he too finds Liam Jones. So this looks hopeful for the Blues. Good running there by Doherty to get on the end of that. Ed Curnow had a season high into the 30s last week in terms of touches. Good kick, Betts. Back on his feet, and Butterick had to be reactive. Eddie just out of range, you would think, from there. Looking, wants someone to come at him. Wants something that he can hit. Sees it in the pocket now, and it's a spearing ball to Mackay. A real dart from Eddie.
Was a dart. Had to have good hands, Mackay, to take that one, given the ball is a little bit slippery.
So left footer, remember, Suits the left.
Just a minute ago with Harbrow kicking the ball into the forward 50. That's as deliberate as you want to get that out of bounds.
Yeah, there's no one there.
Because it's going into the forward line, they don't pay them.
Mackay from 47 and got that working in the opposite direction. De Koning up flies, couldn't get it. Walsh off the ground, little left foot snap. First score of the game to the Blues.
It's one area, Duck, I've noticed with Walsh. 5 goals in his last 5 matches.
Yes.
You know, half a dozen in 30 matches before that type of thing.
Well, he's done some things this year. He really has taken his game to a new level. That mark that he took earlier this year too, Bruce.
Yep, Mackay, that one off the side of the boot. Cripps with that strong body. Couldn't quite get it. Cottrell trying to get his way through. Almost, not quite. Greenwood gets him. Gee, Greenwood versus Cripps. Around these stoppages will be fascinating, won't it?
Yeah, it will indeed. Great battle there. Pitnet just knocks it forward, picks up some meterage. Here's Collins. So much talked about him last week. This is Powell. He's a fine young half-back flanker as well. Neat little kick into the middle. Umpire lets it go. Picked up by Weller. Had to avoid the oncoming Murphy. Did it well to Witts. Witts to May. Back to Greenwood under pressure. Finding out they can't handball backwards too often, or they be forced backwards. And Harbrow eventually goes out wide and finds an opportunity with Lukosius. Looking forward to see how he plays. What about the kick? It was absolutely magnificent. Ainsworth couldn't handle the speed of it.
Gee, it was a brilliant kick. I mean, he's such a player, Lukosius, isn't he? In that same draft as Walsh and Rankin.
Move it on. Play on.
So many high draft picks out there tonight, of course, back to Murphy, etc. and Swallow. Gee, mismarked by, speaking of the #1 draft picks, there you go. And there's one from another, so Wiedering to Walsh, and then Walsh down the line, defensive tight kick, just got through Graham. Clever by Gibbons, got it forward. Blues with a chance here, Noons. Well done, Betts. Gee, can kick a football, can't he? And finds Gibbons. Well, there you go, Duck. We're about to find out whether Gibbons can kick a goal from a set shot.
and that's a brilliant kick from Eddie Betts. Just well weighted. Nothing a defender can do about it. Just fell onto that. Gibbons takes an easy chest mark. You're right. But this one, Bruce, and I've been saying it, this one the players feel more pressure because they're expected to kick it.
Let's see how it turns out, eh? About, I guess he's going to kick from about 45 metres, and there you go. He's hung it out and behind.
So this is Butterick. Now, this is Eddie Betts and Butterick, and possibly playing on each other tonight. That's Butterick 5 years ago, and tonight he's playing on his hero. Can you believe that?
No, I can't, actually.
He's
what a great shot, Peter.
Playing on him. Blow your mind on that. Incredible photo. Walsh, good one out the back to Murphy. So Carlton keep peppering, picked up by Noons. Got it on here to Gibbons. Round the corner, that's better. That's better. Thought about going to the right, but better to kick the goal. Good start.
BT, yeah, BT. So appropriate that Noons gave it to Gibbons, eh?
Yes, absolutely.
That was a great photo.
That is an incredible photo, isn't it? Well, just 5 years in that.
He's having a good year too. I like the way he plays.
Yeah, 13 years of age. That is that's staggering, really. So here's the replay, and you can see Murphy run just a clean pick up from Noon, set it up, and gave Gibbons the time as well. And that's got the fans pumping at TIO Stadium. And the Blues fans out of their chairs for that Gibbons goal. The Toyota fan zone. You can see Shelley Ware, TV presenter, in the middle there. She's enjoying it. And have a look at Daniel Gorringe down the bottom, going absolutely geeky at it.
It is. We had him on the countdown tonight, Daniel.
He did indeed.
Quite a character.
Notice he's got the Carlton strip on. Wonder if he'll have a Sun strip on if they kick a goal and get over to there. So Setterfield got it for Casbolt, just got through his fingers. Lukosius' handball. Cripps clever. Gibbons going well. De Koning from 40 metres out. Geez, an athlete, isn't he?
Yep, he is. And I noticed you mentioned De Koning, Bruce, and that's the way his parents would like him to be pronounced. A lot would say De Koning, but everyone is, his parents want De Koning, so that's what we'll go with tonight, Bruce.
You got that from a reliable source, BT?
I did. Well done. Yes, his mother. Here's not Collins, but Butterick.
He did look. He looks like he's got a real turn of foot for a guy of his size.
Yeah. Butterick low. And on the end of that is Flanders, half-back. So yet to really get any rhythm in their game here, Gold Coast. In fact, both of these teams this year, as Jones cops one high accidentally from Lemons. But Bruce and Duck, I've liked the fight of both. Both have looked out of contests at various stages this year. Both have been able to find a way back in as we see that accidental collision there.
Yep.
Spot on, BT, about finding that way back in. So little squeezy kick from Bowes. Doherty. Simpson. Oh, great vision. Well, I know he had to go backwards to go forwards, but it was terrific vision. And now Wietering attacks the corridor and attacking at Mackay. Dinky little kick by Setterfield, and Gibbons, well, he gets another. Well, no, he doesn't get a set shot. That's a strange choice to go so wide to Casbolt. Sure, he would have got the distance in Perth. I'll stop about that. And here's Noons. So I reckon Noons, more than any other player I've seen, went from reliable to remarkable in 60 seconds last week.
I think you're right.
He's gone from a B-grade movie star to the leading man.
Yes.
And will be for the rest of his career.
Yet he's expected to kick this one.
And if he does kick it, Bruce, the celebrations won't be as good as last week, I don't reckon.
Well, this is a bigger test in some ways.
No pressure when you're on the boundary, Bruce. You had nothing to lose. There's pressure when you're that far out and you're expected to kick it.
Oh, Duck, God, you could spoil a good story, Duck.
Real party pooper. It's Collins. Kicks it out wide over the head. Petrevsky-Seton there, went and got it. Doherty put his body on the line. Little kick along the ground there by Williamson. See Patrick Critch to the outside of the boot was impressive. Charlie Ballard there was able to keep it moving forward. And Simpson and Wietering and these guys have been cleaning up on half-back and really haven't let anything through yet. Setterfield now waiting for something to transpire. Eventually Noon's got a break and the kick was really good to the advantage.
Absolutely, protected it with his body, didn't he? Got it to Fisher. It's a likely tight Fisher. Injury sort of brought him back to the field, but he's so constructive. Petrevsky-Seton hardly ever misses Petrevsky-Seton, and that's not a good kick, and Collins cuts it off.
One of the few times they've actually gone long, the Blues. They're chipping it around a lot, already up to 19 marks, 20 marks actually now.
Mark taken by Noons.
Just a real plan to chip the footy around.
So Noons from half forward. High footy, plenty of Gold Coast flyers there. There's the young Powell, couldn't get it, plenty of red jumpers. Casbolt through traffic, gone. Free kick, Greenwood. What is it that Gold Coast aren't doing at the moment you think they need to do?
Well, right now it's allowing Carlton to get a lot of those uncontested marks, these little chip kicks. Now, a lot of them I don't think are going to require distance, by the way, but that's clearly a plan.
Yep.
So maybe have to just push up a little bit. Don't allow them what they want to try and do. You can see another short one there. They turn it over. So that's the key for them.
Ainsworth, Rankin.
Thank you, Tom.
And interesting with Stewie Jew, do you let someone like Rankin play that free range game, Bruce?
Thank you, Matt.
Or do you make him adhere to the professional things? I think it's more free range than it is the professional sort of attitude, isn't it?
I think so. Look, he's got that rare talent that we know, and you can never, ever suppress that, can you? Because that's the difference between him being a very good player and being something very special. But he was shown up a couple of times last week, but he did a lot of work last week. Here's Ballard. He did a lot of gut running last week, and I think his fitness might have got him towards the end with that one-handed mark attempt. Here's Bowes. Little kick down the line. Good protection there by Ainsworth. He's a smart player, this guy. He's a youngster, high draft pick, like what we see from him, BT.
Great build, isn't he? Ainsworth. He's kept that to the boundary line. It's an unusual place to get it because even if one of your players do mark it in that spot, I don't quite get that kick. I know the other one's very predictable at the top of the square, so everyone knows about it, but just a little strange. So ruck contest here, Witts and Pitnet. Little knockdown here, and the path of Cottrell's underneath. All that picked up by Duke Miller. Little kick out of the pack over the line and out of bounds. Gavin Wanganeen is downstairs. Gav, how are you viewing it?
Yeah, guys, you mentioned it before, BT, the entries are in really wide spots, and the Carlton guys are just saying good luck if you kick it from there.
So Pitton at front spot, Setterfield. To Coning, good mark. Not paid, so back to Murphy. Murphy, he was in that original game when these two teams played each other. That's a good kick. Gibbons couldn't quite hang on to it. Harbrow spreads it to Ainsworth, and then Ainsworth with a neat-looking kick. It was a big task for Corbett to get on top of it, and then Simpson. So this ball getting pretty slippery, isn't it?
Yep.
That's the dew down here at ground level, guys. We've seen a number of easy marks out in front, and they're just slipping through the fingers. So that's the dew. It is slippery up here at the NT. Very hot conditions.
And that's the other dew right there, Stewie dew. Witts, hit net, knocked down Cripps, withdrew the kick, gave it to a man in a better position, and Ed Curnow. And Ed Curnow's having another good year. He's played every game, season high 33 touches last week. He's averaged 19 this year. Ed, but he's a good player, whether he's tagging or not.
And I agree. Like you said, career high last week. They've just got to adjust now, especially in the marking contest. You've got to flatten their hands a little bit more, like you would on a normal wet day.
Loving seeing the fans here as well. Bruce bring their own seats to the venue. It's fantastic. And I think we're allowed, Abby said we're allowed 6,000 into the ground tonight, about half the capacity what's available here. Great to see them enjoying this sensational night.
Sold out.
And who are they barracking? Yeah, it did duck in 5. Who are they barracking for, Abby? Are they Blues or Suns?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because it is a Suns home game. They're building a great relationship with the NT, but I would have to say majority Blues fans in the crowd tonight, guys.
OK, we might wait till Suns kick a goal, Abby, and then we might get another little feel for it, won't we? So hopefully we won't have to wait too long.
I reckon
That'll be very, very telling, Bruce.
I think Eddie Betts might have something to do with that.
Yeah,
he's got
a fair draw card, Duck, isn't he? So here's Ainsworth, mistake made there. Corbett couldn't hang on to it. This ball is a slippery one, isn't it? Ball gets back. Well done by Doherty, twisting and turning, not going very far. Cripps with those very strong hips, just brushes Ellis aside and gets it out to Setterfield at centre wing. So the Blues to mount an attack here.
Yep, and they started from the wing here. Gibbons. Down the line. To Coning, lovely mark. Quick play on. Noons is away and he's released. He turns Butterick inside out. Kick long, not great. And Bowes able to mark in defence, and he says to his fellow nearby teammates, let's just settle a bit.
Yeah, and De Koning, you talk about the slippery ball. He plucked that. That was like a dry ball for him.
Yes, indeed. Here he is again, De Koning. Gibbons taking the mark off the back of the pack.
He looks like he's got clean hands, De Koning.
No, impressive duck. So Gibbons has kicked back to Mackay. She was good play in the front. I think it might have been Lukosius in the end getting it out. Ellis had to twist and turn. Harbrow, look away to Miller. Miller off a step, gets reasonable distance. And that is a really good stretch by Corbett. That's a good mark in these conditions. So, BT, they haven't kept a team scoreless, Carlton, in the opening term since 1997. Can you work on it a bit for the Suns? Here you go.
A minute 23. It does feel like a lifetime ago that this Gold Coast side beat West Coast in round 2 by 44 points. They need to keep their temper. What I love about Gold Coast at the moment is the fact, Bruce, that they're still prepared to play corridor. They're not getting numbers back. They're playing one-on-one football and letting each player play according to his ability.
And for the long game, mate.
Yep. It's a good strategy, I reckon, by the Gold Coast football admin to allow that to happen. Here is Cripps. High footy. The back, Mackay just got a little hand on the shoulder of Collins. Now he's a lengthy, long kicker, and they need a little bit of steadiness. Get back and get some momentum in your run-up, young man, because you are good enough from here. Big, long left foot, under a half a minute. To add to the goal they've got already. This is the kick. It's going to come back enough. It's whether it's got the wheels, and it falls just a metre or two short.
Getting such a great look at the jumpers, the Guernseys tonight, aren't they? So much work goes into them. They look fantastic. Symbolises the half a dozen players at the Carlton Footy Club. That one there, the 4 from the AFL and AFLW, the couple from there as well, and then Gold Coast quite spectacular. So here's Lukosius. So they are going to be scoreless by the look of it in the opening term. And Jones, one of the proud Indigenous players out there tonight, gives the Blues one last little look. Not quite taken by Mackay, and Carlton take the honours in the opening term. It was hard going. It's going to be a difficult night because of the conditions with the dew on the ground and the humidity. But the Blues did all the scoring, as it turned out, and lead by 10 points. It's 1-4 to 0-0 at quarter time. So Doug Nicholls round starting off in Darwin tonight. Can't fall away.
They didn't put real scoreboard pressure. Had more opportunities. Should be more than 1 goal in that first term. So the Suns will get on a run.
Hit net and Witts. Beautiful to Greenwood by Witts. This is a much more positive start for them. Plowman with the big packed fist at the back. Moon's trying to tidy up at the front here, and Petrevski, Seaton, Bowl. They've almost had his feet taken, not quite. Ainsworth around the quarter. It was a beautiful pick-up by King, and Witts puts it into the spot there. May was bowled over. It was really good stuff by Jones, and Legal gives it to Walsh. Walsh, a powerful kick, finds Fisher.
Oh, gee, that was a good kick, wasn't it, BT? That is a real string to his bow, isn't it, to Walsh? Penetrating, went quickly. Here's Martin. Powell on him. Good matchup, that one. Much more experienced, Martin, but Powell's a decent athlete and a smart young player. Geez, a beautiful mover, isn't he, Jack Martin? That first game of the season, Duck, where he kicked 4 against the Tigers. He made an auspicious debut, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a class act, no question about that. And I think he's enjoying a good year.
No doubt. Back from a calf injury pretty quickly, so it must have been very minor. Weller. Curnow to put the pressure on him. Bose's little one, and here's Walsh from Murphy.
Round the corner, plenty of Gold Coast jumpers there. This is Graham. Caleb Graham. See those magnificent trees in the background. Hardly any wind here tonight. Greenwood was a little under that footy, left it for Swallow at the back, and Walsh able to tidy up. Nifty little kick created there, and Casbolt really should have taken that. Picked up by Murphy, made something out of nothing. Now this is off hands, so Martin has to keep going. Little effort. Gee, both scenes going extremely short in this game, in the really, really good attacking conditions where you feel like they can go longer and allow for contested mark opportunities.
Let's see if there's a change in that, but that's certainly prominent at the moment, isn't it? Not at one end either, at both ends.
Yeah.
So the Blues pressing a bit here. Betts normally dangerous in these situations. Casbolt laid it down there.
High contact. Gold Coast. Get up, get it up, get it up. High contact. I'll go through.
Cripps not sure about that, but they're the two that we expect to see together a lot in those in-tight situations. Doesn't penetrate a lot, Greenwood, does he? So that one a bit up and high at the back, Simpson.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's his lack of confidence to go longer, Bruce, but he does kick short a lot, Greenwood. He always wants the leader to come up at him. And it's rare that you see him kick like he did then, a little longer down the line, perhaps. So what can Gold Coast conjure up here and get going? Where's Isaac Ranking? Unsighted in the first quarter. Need his involvement. And there's umpire Robert Finlay, who's in great form. There's Rankin waiting to come on, along with Flanders and Butterick there. Also Noah Anderson. So Witts, pit net. Little one here, Gibbons been prominent in the game. Gee, that was knocked out in the tackle, said the umpire. So Murphy goes forward now, over the head of Martin. Giving chase is Graham. Got Martin, wrapped him up. Casbolt trying to extract, but that ain't coming out. No prior opportunity there. Ball up.
Thank you, Levi.
It's a great shot a moment ago, BT, when you talked about Rankin and those 4 young men together on the interchange. The future of the club in so many ways, the 4 of them, you know, Anderson and Butterick and Rankin all in their first season. Rankin, of course, missing last year. Petrevsky, Seaton got it worried away from him in the end. Speaking of young talent, Wiedering and King together in his ploughman. So can he find a target? That's a better kick to Murphy. So how aggressive are they here, the Blues? Good switch to Noons. And then Noons. So this is a decent transition. Now Simpson's a left footer. We know he'll come back in ball.
And that's exactly what he does. And there's the spot up to Petrevsky, Seaton, or Jack Martin it is, in fact. And Jack says to him by way of pointing him, mate, that is absolutely spot on.
Yeah, and the whole key to that was Simpson just wheeling and going, making his decision on the turn.
Forcing them to run.
That's right. And then it was just an easy lead-up kick. And talked about a good kick. That's the best type of kick, especially when the conditions are a little bit slippery, because that's easier to mark.
Gold Coast have the 5 youngest players on the ground tonight. There is Martin laid back on that. And went Ray right. I reckon the difference with Gold Coast this year, Duck, is last year they were just playing to play, but this year I think there's a little bit more belief in them.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And as I said, I know they haven't scored yet, but they will have their time in this game. And at the moment, the Blues not putting real scoreboard pressure on them.
No, here's Jones. He's won some good one-on-ones already tonight, Jones. Banging it to bits, couldn't quite. Hands and knees, gets a little chance here. Hooks it cleverly. Against Graham on Mackay. Danger times, Duck, for Suns, I reckon, right now, because they're going to nail a couple of these, the Blues, eventually, aren't they?
Yeah, and they have to, Bruce. He had the shot that he had in the first quarter, he actually hit it well. Just didn't quite get the distance, so he should have a little bit of confidence around that.
Tight pocket, of course. Buddy likes this one, and he's got it home, hasn't he, Mackay? So the Blues skip away.
And for a big guy, BT, you'd be impressed with how he...
Yeah, he looks good.
When he has a shot for goal.
Yeah, he shapes up well. Got a really good technique.
Yep, knows what he does with the footy.
Yep, really confident.
Does exactly what most left footers do, and that's obviously left to right.
Yep. No, he looks really solid in his technique, and I think he's getting better and better. He's going to be a fantastic player for them going forward, I reckon.
And this is clever from Eddie Betts. Should have marked the ball, to be honest, but just real clever kick there, just to the space, and drew the free kick, Mackay. And as we were saying, he's very, very good, clean kick for a big guy of his height.
Yep.
Hits it well.
Growing in confidence.
He's got the ability. The upside in him is huge.
David Teague. Pretty happy at the moment, I would have thought. Long way to go here. Back in the middle to Boyd. Lets it rip to Koning. Beautiful palm down it was. In the path, Cripps is able to clear the ball in the end. Harbrow, the juggler, back in this week after being managed last week. Here's Brandon Ellis. Haven't seen a lot of him. Fisher did well to try and win the footy then. And standing between them was Lemons. So a little ball up here. Who's going to crack in for the Gold Coast? Who's going to take a stand here? Weller and Cripps. Well done by Weller. Bowled over in the end. Lucky to get the free, I thought.
Hold there, please.
So Kuno coming in, just off the ball slightly. So
Move it on.
it's had really good contribution from the Dockers to the Suns. Weller. Not a good kick. Gee, that's poor. And this has been the Suns all night. I mean,
to me, they're just lacking confidence by foot, Bruce. They're normally real and goers, corridor. They love that area, and tonight they're stop and slow.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like they've got a lot of personnel changes. They've still got the basic forward line that they've had all along. So Walsh just nursed it along the line. Murphy, prolific in the opening term, as Duck told us. High tackle on Petrevsky, Seaton. That was Swallow. Gee, that's already a problem area for him.
He got up with both arms on the ground, so he'll be okay, Bruce, I reckon.
Well, he's hardy, BT. He's played missed a couple of games only. He's played 76 to 90. Just keeps on fronting up. Gee, Mackay, that was probably a good indication how slippery the ball is tonight.
And guys, Petrevski-Seton just coming straight off the ground now. He is grabbing at that right shoulder, and the physio's just having a good look at him now.
I might just go and give it less feeling than there is at the moment. Here's Miller. Sliding ball that Ainsworth tried to tidy up. Not successful. That's a free to Gold Coast. Centre half back, couldn't quite see who it was. Roderick. Now, what can they do? Can they get some fast action going? We know it's a matter of only time before they get into that mode. This one's out wide now. This looks better for them. Much, much better if they can make the kick. Lemons, that's it. He turns, goes to Miller to send it inside 50. That is so much more impressive from the Gold Coast. The quickness, the want to go.
Yep, better ball movement. That gave them a better look inside forward 50 because Doherty and these guys, Wiedering, they are playing really good footy in that defensive part. So you can't just bomb it on their head, so they found a little bit of space.
Good kick by Miller. And now Rankin with a relatively... the thing I do love is he does kick the ball so cleanly, and he's such a sweet timer. Whether that accounts for accuracy, and it does on this occasion, but he is a sweet timer of the footy. So Rankin kicks them into action here, and you get the feeling that that'll give them the confidence to light up through the middle of the ground now.
Yep. I think it's the key in any game you watch, BT. Fast ball movement.
Yep.
Inside forward 50, you're going to give your forwards a better chance.
What forward doesn't love it?
That's right.
What forward doesn't love the wheel and go?
It was a great passage of play from the Suns here. A handball and then a nice mark from Isaac Rankin, finishing strongly in front of goal. He was the number 3 pick in the 2018 draft. And Gav, he's a relative of yours, isn't he?
Yeah, I asked my mum during the week how we actually related, and she said that my grandfather and his great-grandfather are brothers. So also Alwyn Davey and Aaron Davies' grandfather. So we're family. I'm on the bandwagon as well.
Gee, great genes, aren't they? Great story, Abby and Gav, eh? So we've loved what we've seen from him in his first season of AFL footy. Of course, he lit up the SANFL a bit before that, centre field back. So the Suns are on the board. Anderson got his first disposal a moment ago too in that passage of play. He started it off. There he is there, ridden into the ground. De Koning got down low. Swallow in that 150. Bowes got it to Greenwood. Greenwood off a step, bangs the ball forward. So a good lift here by the Suns. Lemons, strong by Williamson, crashing forward, and then Lemons may have got into his back. Ball half spills out. Little give was terrific by Petrevski-Seton. Gets to Curnow. The Blues out of danger.
Yeah, Noons sold a beautiful bit of foot candy on Charlie Ballard. Shouldn't have fallen for that. Eddie Betts, Harbrow to keep it alive. Good tackle by Gibbons, a dispossessing one. He was waiting for Gibbons to get back to his feet. Now Cottrell came through, couldn't win it. Greenwood been ultra impressive. Ballard now down the line here, 2-on-2. Might work for Rankin. Clean set of hands. And Corbett ran into the tackle from the veteran and Cade Simpson. It was a cruncher as well. Well done to Cade Simpson. 36 years of age, if you don't mind.
Have a look at the Telstra tracker. Distance covered, Sam Walsh. We know he covers a lot of ground. Ed Curnow, as you've mentioned a couple of times, also a massive runner.
Took Miller right there with him, Duck, wasn't he? So leading the Suns. So Witts with a shallow throw in. Toe poke by Swallow. Suns have just lifted a bit, haven't they, in the last 3-4 minutes? The goal makes such a difference.
Well, even though they lost that ball at half forward there, Bruce, you could see what they were trying to do. Their attack on the footy can't be questioned.
So Greenwood and Swallow, two of the bigger bodies around these stoppages, which the Blues sort of dominated in the first part of the match.
Coney knocked down here. Dispossessed was Bowes. Greenwood trying hard to extract. Cottrell did. Ran into a bit of a wall. Swallow just kept it rolling forward. Danger here as approaching was Corbett.
Fighting yours.
Pocket. Healthy crowd, beautiful night. The kids won't forget this. Very lucky, as Abby has already told us, tickets sold out in a flash for this game and the big Dreamtime game as well tomorrow night. Witts knocks down Cripps and wants the hold. So it'll be a Cripps free here. Curtis Du Bois indicates that. Let's see what the Blues can get some movement. Doherty on the run here, decides a bounce, a little bit slippery. Neat little kick though, couldn't hold it. Noons, Harbrow was waiting for him to pick up the ball. Gee, I tell you what, Setterfield's handball is smothered. Petrevski-Seaton, Swallow knocks it forward on the ground now. Noons has got rid of it, reeled it in, he did in the end. Has to do it again, picked up there by Setterfield. The ricochet to Cripps. Cripps goes wide to Gibbons, back now to Setterfield. Little kick to relieve the pressure is good to Casbolt.
It is BT, and then Casbolt quickly on. Lovely kick, just eluded Betts. He's in the pocket. Does he keep the ball in? He does. Oh, hold your breath. Hold your breath. Not quite. Well done by Ballard. And then Swallow gives Betts a free kick. Oh, gee, I hope Eddie's all right. Straight up.
I'll tell you what, he had his whole trick bag out there.
Oh,
Bruce.
He sure did. And he mightn't be finished yet, Duck.
He's going to play on for sure, Bruce. You just know it.
Have a look at this.
Still curious at 33 years of age, eh? Still prepared to do other things. Has he got the journey here? How far out is he? He's going to kick across the body. Yeah, he can get the journey. He can get the journey. He can get the journey. Oh, gee. Oh, not quite. He's doing good things, though, isn't he? He looks very dangerous.
There's a couple of marks he could have taken. He was just unsure about the distance then, wasn't he?
It's the most clap point I've ever seen.
Yes, they love it now. Look, all these fans here, if they just take away from this that they love footy and to watch their heroes playing, that's all we want them to take away from this game. It's absolutely fantastic to see the Larrakia people up here supporting this game, supporting football and giving us so many great footballers over the years.
Wait.
There's Ballard.
Touch you, play on.
Umpire's call is go. Greenwood didn't have a chance. Didn't handball to kick it. That's a throw. I wonder why it's not ruled as a throw. Butterick. There's been a lot of throws that have gone uncalled this year. The advantage was paid. Doherty goes in. Stepping back was Powell. Picked up by Martin. Some fancy footwork. Noons, last week's hero, to Mackay. Didn't get it to bend enough.
Come back.
Lively up forward, aren't they now, the Blues?
Hold Sam.
They look dangerous when they get the ball forward 50 for the minute.
You.
Weller.
Out Sam.
You top.
Corbett. So they're hugging the line. That's a tough kick for Rankin. And Simpson up for it. So Simpson and Rankin talk about the old and the new. Certainly in the game. They're only 13 points behind. Just have to find that transition play, that method that's been lacking a bit. Taccone, good body work. Walsh's handball. Weller to pick it up. So Miller, gee, that's good hands from Day. Haven't caught his name. Now Lukosius has got a beautiful leg. What was he doing there? He was just doing absolutely everything right. That's what he was doing to Lemons. Thought he could have almost kicked a goal, guys, the way he was strolling in. Big kick this, because the Blues...
It's a big win if he kicks this, because the Blues haven't put enough scoreboard pressure for the dominance that they've had.
Exactly, 9 scoring shots to 1. So Lemons gets it home. He is a beautiful kick, Lukosius, Duck, isn't he?
He is, and obviously went to the club, Bruce, as a forward, and then they've said, no, we want you to learn a bit of your trade down back. Takes most of their kick-outs, but that's where he can do some real damage. if he can get up the ground and start delivering inside forward 50, as he did on that occasion.
Yep.
And once again, just that speed of ball movement, BT, through the middle of the ground. And Lukosius, well, he's been doing a lot of the kick-outs in the back half, obviously, of the ground, but that ball going inside 50, that's the most important kick in football. And then, obviously, being able to finish off like that.
Absolutely, nicely done. Down to Gavin Wanganeen.
Yeah, Duck just explained it beautifully well there. If you come through the corridor and you keep it moving and it gets into guys' hands like Lukosius, they generally make good decisions. But the key was the ball movement was flowing.
Spot on it was. It was doing just that. And Gavin, I think the more I see the ball flowing with Gold Coast, the better they look to keep it rolling. And they've just started to turn the wheels in motion now. So Carlton are going to be up against it here. De Koning, once again, great athleticism. Here's Weller off the back, straightens up. Wanted to go straight down the middle. Doherty to defend quickly. So both teams willing to attack now when they get the footy. And here he is, Lukosius. I just love his name, and I love the way he moves and kicks, and he's exciting. Look at that precision footy it was. Out wide, finds Bowes. Bowes a little right footer, a little bit long for King. Real first opportunity at it. Spills to Noons now of the Blues.
Gets it to Curnow, that hard running Curnow. Left foot down the line. Ball getting over the back now. Fisher's quick, we know that. Really quicky. Lukosius, he runs away from him. Second bounce, he's looking inside. What's he going to do? Gives it to Betts. Yep, he's got one. He had to get one tonight, and he does. He's been in a little drought, Eddie. No goals in his last 4 matches. And I know he was on the end of it, Duck, but he's looked lively, but what about Fisher?
He's got some Lukosius. The bear jumped on his back.
He's done some crowd with Eddie.
Yeah, he's a fan favourite tonight.
So have a look at this. Betts the beneficiary to kick his first goal in over 4 weeks. But have a look at Lukosius. Remember, he was running hard the other way a moment ago. Now he's calling for help. Anyone want to help? Because the big bear, as Duck said, jumped right on his back and said, mate, you've done too much running. I'm going to pull you up here. Oh, he was worn out from going forward.
Well, he set so many up, Eddie Betts. So when you get on the end of one,
isn't that great? Isn't it fantastic to see these guys come into the footy, enjoying every moment of it? Look, they don't know which way to look. It's such a big, bright thing for them, and they are loving the opportunity of AFL football up here in Darwin. And thanks to the Larrakia people again. Out of the middle pit net, little handball away. Game starting to hot up as well. Supporters will be loving that. Noons tried to feed the handball. Gee, the intensity from Gold Coast has all of a sudden gone through the roof. Anderson, Curnow, lovely weighted handball. Murphy, little bit of a fumble. Now the handball is exceptional. Look at Gibbons. He turned Graham inside out and went short to Mackay. Good open footy now. Photos galore, and all of a sudden it's on here. So Mackay, who's had a few shots tonight, and he's looked the dominant forward for the Blues.
And the game just opening up a little bit for both teams, isn't it? Just getting better looks going inside forward 50 now.
So let's have a look at this kick from a pretty uncomplicated and effortless style. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. He's got a couple. He could have had a couple more. He's playing well. Two in a row for the Blues. Betts and Mackay into kicking second. Gets the margin back out to 19 points here. And both teams willing to take it on in the middle at the moment, which is great for us as spectators to watch. Minute and 18 to go here until the major break.
Great call, BT. And he is the dominant big forward on the ground, is he? Or any forward right now.
Yeah, and you're right, BT. He dropped a couple of marks that he should have taken as well, so he's having a very good game. Oh, you talk about that action, BT.
It's good, isn't it?
It
Clean,
is good.
Smooth.
Yep. This guy could be one of the absolute superstars of the comp.
Gavin Wanganeen's downstairs. Gav.
Yeah, it was a nice bit of play there by young Gibbons. He just sold a little dummy and looked inside and hit the big fella up. And, gee, he's got a great kicking action for such a big bloke.
Exceptional.
Spot on, Gavin. So Mackay really impressing again tonight, not for the first time. There's Gibbons. See, the Blues have responded so well here, haven't they? Noons kicks to the top of the square, builded away there by Graham. Probably could have taken the mark. It's a hard night to do that, I know. Casbolt, Murphy had to search for it, improvised a bit. Good hands, Setterfield. Gibbons, talk about selling candy and kicking a beauty. He's got two. Well, I guess he gets under the radar a little bit, Duck. He never misses. He's missed one game in 2 years, but his contribution tonight's been quite stunning, and it's been pretty good all the way through, hasn't it?
Yeah, he has, and he's capable of doing this, capable of kicking multiple goals. But now they're just getting a little bit too much uncontested footy.
Yep.
Just the pressure's just dropped off slightly, I reckon, BT. Just in the last few minutes when they got back in this game, the Suns, all of a sudden now the Blues. I mean, you saw Murphy there, little fumble, but gets away with it. That wasn't the case earlier. The Suns' pressure was a lot higher, dropped off a little bit.
A lot of threes. 3 goals, 3 minutes, 3 entries inside 50s for the Blues.
That's a hat-trick, BT, in more ways than one.
It is, Bruce. Thank you for that. The hill is full.
Duck, that's my best work for the night. It's just dished me off.
No. That is very nice, Bruce. I acknowledged it. There's Miller. Swallow. The game's too fast, Bruce. Swallow backs up from 50. Offline ball. Jones won't get it, but he'll hope it goes over the line out of bounds. Have a look at all those deck chairs in the background there. Set up beautifully with their camping deck chairs, Duck. Magnificent look. Look at that. Talk about come prepared, and all different seats for all different weights, Bruce.
Well, you would be a challenger, wouldn't you? But anyway.
Oh, come on.
I've got a long memory. Here's Cripps coming out of the back half. Oh, go on, BT. Get us to half-time. I've enjoyed it.
Oh, here they go. Now, Martin. Nifty little kick. Look at the 10 seconds to go, so nothing happening here. Blues are going to hold on to them. Not going to risk going forward from this. And Fisher in a wonderful finish. They kicked the last 3 goals of that second quarter, the Blues, after they were challenged when Rankin and Lemon stepped forward. And Lemon's got them within 7 points. And a wonderful last 4 or 5 minutes from the Blues, of which the fans have enjoyed. Mark Murphy was instrumental. And all of a sudden, at half-time here, got plenty to come. Stay with us. It's the Blues at half-time by 25. He means so much to the Gold Coast Footy Club, this guy. He's really the guts of the club. He's the glue of the club. And they've loved him there, and they reckon he's done a great job over a good period of time, David Swallow, as we get underway with the second half.
He has, BT. He's stuck with them too, hasn't he?
Yep.
He's had his injury concerns, but having an extremely good year.
He's so reliable, isn't he? So De Koning gets over Witts a little, and that's hard to do. We know he's one of the giants of the game, Witts. Doherty led to it though by Flanders. Good little twist and turn. They need some early goals here, the Suns, to get that scoreboard pressure back. Lemons went to ground. Cripps so strong, obviously, in the contest always, and again tonight with that big body. In these conditions, it'll get harder. Cottrell's kicked down the ground, got some good distance, put the pressure on Bowes. Barton was clever there, wasn't he? And then Casbolt belts the ball forward. Mackay, Lukosius had to paddle. Collins got it through Mackay's legs. Greenwood in. Martin, lovely vision. Murphy's had a big night. What's he up to, Murphy? He's up to 19 and just misses.
Yeah, leads all possession getters on the ground, Bruce, so he has had a big night, Mark Murphy. And a golden opportunity mentioned there. They can't afford to let them score first, Gold Coast. Bowes kicks in. Good shot of the crowd on the back. De Koning there following up his own work. Weller played for the free, and the umpire did not award it, which was the correct way to go. Lemons looking for a push in the back, nothing there as through comes Williamson. Picked up by Lemons, just got the kick away before Williamson's able to drag him down. Wonderful handball by Simpson to Doherty. Under pressure, Wiedering squeezes the little kick and finds Ed Curnow.
Good delivery, wasn't it, Curnow? Had to stretch, but he made it. And his little kick down the line. Martin just covers the ground so well, doesn't he? He is that sweet mover on the left, doesn't matter for him. Eddie lurking and Casbolt. Levi gets into a strong spot. And Duck, we haven't seen many of those clunk tonight, have we?
No, we haven't. That one was a good kick, wasn't it? But once again, the fact that Martin's able to play on BT and get that past that man on the mark, you get that ball in a little bit longer and just read that better than anyone else there, Levi.
Just looked like a class kick too, didn't it?
Yeah. He broke the line, so to speak, didn't he? He took it from 35 metres out to 15 metres out. He's kicked accurately most of this season. That one's not going to come back. So, does this hurt them, BT? They're 5 goals, 9. I don't think it does at the moment because the Suns are not doing enough, but we're going to find out.
The Suns have played 7 or 8 minutes of good footy so far, and other than that, it's not going to be enough in the second half to get them over the line. So, does it hurt them? Probably not, unless Gold Coast can absolutely turn it around. Because the worst thing they can do is go more and more into their shell. Ainsworth. Bowes. Good crowding. The limit 6,000 tonight. Bowes bravely to the middle of the ground. This is what the coaching staff want them to do. They want them to take it on through the middle. Martin handball, partially smothered there. Picked up magnificently by Simpson in traffic. Gee, that's a great kick. Off one step, out of traffic. That is so good. Fisher, little handball to Murphy. Caught in the Brandon Ellis tackle. Handball by Bowes, almost deliberately toward the boundary line. Lucky for him, it didn't make it. Picked up by Cottrell, gave it to Fisher. Better on his left, missed the target. Martin, the moment he grabbed it, Flanders had him wrapped up in the tackle.
So they're not quite broken, but you feel like they're nearly at breaking. Look at those inside 50s, the pressure building up. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Got to find a way to boomerang their way out of this, slingshot their way out of this. Well, this helps, doesn't it? That relieves some nice pressure. So Witts, but you're spot on, BT. You want the Suns to stand for something, and that is attacking footy with that flair, because right now that's going to get them back in the game. Nothing else will. They're going to play high-risk footy on a night that it's not easy, but they're going to have to do it. Here's Rankin in the back half. So he goes down that line. Gee, thinking King there, he's had a really quiet night, hasn't he?
Yep, he has, Bruce. By the way, Gold Coast, 10 players under 5 possessions tonight. They played a half of footy.
Playing on a good player, though, Wiedering is having some sort of year. We've got a good settled defence now. Doherty back in that team. Jones, we know, can hold up an end.
Great leader there, Rankin and Weller combined. Weller able to avoid the tackle so much that he can draw the player. Handball to Ainsworth, a deep entry inside 50, and not such a good one.
Well, that's the best result. Get a throw in. Umpire says it's clipped the line.
I think he's right too. That's the correct call, I reckon.
So let's see if they can weave some magic from the stoppage here. To Koning and Witts. Witts worked it pretty well. But Setterfield able to get it to Murphy. Collins cuts it off, so too far out. What's he going to do? He's just going to set it up. Can someone take a big fly or make a big fly and take the mark? Murphy had a little couple of cracks at it and threw it up and away, didn't he? Maybe lucky. Bowes. Is that coming back? No. Across. Mark taken by Doherty.
Can't afford to let him get out of here easily, Bruce. They must trap the ball here, Gold Coast. Give themselves another opportunity. Doherty, as Duck said, been very impressive, and he leads the back line well. Strong mark by Casbolt. Immediately to the run of Cottrell is good play. Thought about the handball, went the kick, and didn't quite hit Eddie on the lead. And we'll throw it in.
Talk about that. Yeah, talk about that mark often. That one down the line that you're able to take, and that's strong from Casbolt. And to have the nous to play on too, clever little handball.
Ballard there really suffering, of course. Ellis getting sandwiched between them, so he's basically knocked out, absolutely winded Setterfield off the ground. And the Blues able to get a stoppage. Down to
Charlie Ballard has just got up to his feet, guys. Heavily hit there by Brandon Ellis. Some friendly fire, but it is up and running, so that's good news for Suns fans.
Thanks, Sabby. There he is. Charlie Ballard. Casbolt. Wins double-handed a Swallow. Fans the ball out, setting up the brick wall here to Koning. To go and get it. He Rankin got him with a good hip and shoulder. Ellis clamped over the foot. He's only had a few touches in this game. Brandon Ellis, he's one as a leader of this club that needs to shine a bit more over the next quarter and a half. Umpire Craig Fleer. Umpires are in these hubs and bubbles as well. Bose, we thank all of them, from goal umpires and boundary umpires right through to the field umpires. Picked up by Setterfield and out wide, so another throw in. So just a bit of a stalemate here at the moment.
The Blues in the best position for a stalemate, aren't they? They just have it under control. Can that man's team make a breakthrough?
Okay. Wits. Holding.
It's a couple of free kicks now. Koning's given away to Witts to let them off the hook.
Yep, in the same spot, were they? So Witz's kick just a little lazy on the leg, wasn't it? Cottrell cuts it off. And he goes high. Casbolt the target. Well done at the back by Ballard, who's picked himself up. And then Gibbons did well, kept it alive, and then Ellis and Murphy and another stoppage. So not much happening halfway through this third quarter.
Inside 50s. They saw 31-17 there. Carlton dominating in that area. Koning knocked down Swallow again. Trying to give them something from the stoppage. But Plowman, wonderful one-hander against Rankin. Lex to go out wide, and it'll be no good. So really, both sides at the moment. Bo's been involved a lot, but just been playing between the arcs. Goes to the old scoreboard side of the ground. Wiedering a little nudge under the ball. Here's Plowman trying to gather. The pressure came there on that occasion from Ainsworth, who's having a real crack. And a ball
Straight
up
up,
on the wing.
please. Up we get. Don't give it away.
One little area, Duck, where they're getting a bit hit. Swallows had 5 clearances now. He started as a forward defensive player. He's starting to have there he is there, around these packs, isn't he? Just giving them something. They need all these little things to add up to something, don't they?
Well, they're just hanging on, aren't they, right now? And it's these little efforts, the pressure that they're now putting the Blues under. That second part of that second quarter, the Blues just seem to get too much free footy, but you can see that the Suns' intensity has lifted.
So Swallow and Greenwood around the stoppages are going to be vital if they can keep going. To give them maybe first crack at it, Gibbons and Ellis. You talk about their older players. They've got the 6 youngest players out there tonight, the Suns. They've got 6 players that are younger than Sam Walsh out there tonight.
Yep. Boundary umpire throwing in. This little stalemate here at the moment has been just a good little period, a good minute for Gold Coast, because that's all they can go by at the moment. Possession by possession, but it's just, they've done well, applied a little bit of pressure, but now we need something to be gained out of it. Down the line they go, falling back into the play, but not marking was Anderson. And now Noons gathers, tries to get around Bose. Brandon Ellis with a hand on it. Fisher keeps his feet, cleverly knocks it on to Gibbons, on to Murphy. Murphy goes the flying right foot banana, kicked it out of bounds. No, minor score. So 5 goals, 10 at the moment, the Blues.
Percentage going to be important to Carlton this year. They're close to that 100, but they're vying with teams like Melbourne, whose percentage has gone up a lot in the last few weeks. So you would hope, if you're a Blues player and supporter, that they could make every post a winner. So here's Harbrow. Not saying this game's done and dusted, but they have been well and truly on top. Swallow building a pretty good game here. Little push against Williamson. So Corbett.
No, he didn't have the ball. Wasn't set.
So if Carlton can win this match and win by a little margin, they're going to be at the foot of the 8 at the end of this round, whatever happens in the rest of the matches to be played. This the beginning. So here's Ainsworth. He's looked lively, and oh, that is a good mark by Wiedering. I guess Ducky's not completely out of all Australian calculation, Wiedering. He's sort of knocking on a door, isn't he?
Yeah, he'd be in the discussions. Hasn't had many goals kicked on him.
There it is, the famous Maurice Rioli stand, of course. What a player he was with St Mary's, South Fremantle, Richmond, 286 games, 3 grand finals, won the best and fairest in every one of those grand finals. He won 2 and lost 1. Amazing records. Ball handling out of 10, 9, evasive skills 10, tackling 10, kicking 9, and just a great bloke, 10 out of 10. Maurice Rioli was a great teammate of mine, Bruce, and he is a legend up in this area, and that is why that grandstand is named after him. Died too young, age 53.
Absolutely.
So
Corbett from the pocket. So let's see if he can get it home. Just to keep the Suns ticking along. Not going to get it like that, but Carlton with all the numbers, and Pittonet's taken the mark.
Back to the 9, Sean. Sean, back to the 9.
So just a lack of bodies up there for the Suns, weren't they? No Day, no King, no high marks.
The Blues have just out-muscled them in their forward half.
Yet to score at this end, Bruce, Gold Coast.
Well, a chance here, so 150th game for David Swallow, their original #1 draft pick. He's had a pretty good match. It's a good kick. Oh.
There's a lot of young kids in that crowd there, Duck, sitting there and saying, I could have done that pretty easily. I do that in my playtime every day. They would have too. No doubt about it. Highlighting the skills of our great game. That young boy there and young girl fancied themselves in the position that he was just in. Umpire to loop it back into play. 5:54. Got to get going here, Gold Coast, or the Blues are going to blow them away. Walsh underneath it. We're out of the Geelong Falcons. Stewie Jew looking a little pensive on the boundary line, wondering when it's all going to happen as well. Here's Took Miller. Handball off, little one. Didn't go that far. Spills to Alice. He's mauled by a Coppell. Somehow still got it away to May, who's been quietish. I think it might originally be for the one under Alice. It was a very, very late whistle, if it was, for that one there.
Yep, it was a late call, wasn't it? So now Carlton's turn to go forward of the centre. Day doing the defensive work. Walsh, Noons had a lot of the ball tonight. Setterfield back to Noons, back to Walsh. Did well. Fisher, Martins looked as good as anybody with the ball in hand tonight. Kept his hips going, didn't he? And then Walsh belts it forward. Gold Coast with the numbers. Powell cuts it off.
Play on, play on.
So Powell hugging the line, and hitting the line. So he got the best possible result in the end.
I like young Will Powell. Played really well last week.
Mark and Sam.
He stood up to the Tigers, didn't he, BT?
Yep,
he was under great pressure a lot, and I thought he played extremely well.
He was courageous. Those are all the things you wanted as a defender. Hit net, knocked down to Eddie. Thought about it, went on the left, within range. It's on target.
Tackle.
Free kick will go the way of Collins.
Back to the 9,
And
Harry.
what did you make of Collins and all the hoo-ha last week with he and Lynch, Duck?
Oh, well, I didn't think there was as much in it as what it was made out, but I love the fact that Collins was passionate about not winning the game.
Yeah.
I like that passion.
Absolutely.
Here he is, He displayed that in the rooms after the game, didn't he? So here's Casbolt, starting to clump them a bit. Casbolt kicks to centre half forward. Noons was the target. Walsh slipped it out. Noons getting down and dirty, but he's got a couple of opponents, including Miller and the coach. So here's what you were talking about, PT.
This is after the game, of course, and this is what Duck's just referring to, liking the attitude that he just didn't want to lose, didn't want to get beaten, didn't want that to happen. And here's Fisher. Got another question in a moment for you, Duck. We'll wait until this happens, though. Greenwood, off hands here, high ball. Jones, taken away here by Williamson. Left-footed kick in, high ball. And it'll go the way of Gold Coast. What about, on the other hand, the Hawthorn players and all the smiles? Is that the exact opposite of what you saw there?
Oh, well, a few people have had commentary around it. I actually didn't see the Hawthorn game, but I thought the Tom Lynch stuff was completely blown out of proportion. If that was a defender or a non-baller, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Gav, what did you think, Gav?
Mark's here, Ben. Stay outside, Kate. Mark's here.
You kind of just get the feeling, guys, that, you know, you're just waiting for a message to come down to the Gold Coast boys to start rolling the dice and just get the game going and giving their forwards opportunities. So they're still just kicking long down the line.
Let's see if they do get that message, Gavin. So Noons, Weller, is their only chance of really getting back in the game. Setterfield, well done, Swallow. He was important there with that crunching tackle, which got the ball going the right way. If Ainsworth can get it up now, well done. King to Weller. He should kick a goal. He should kick a goal. Runs within about 30, runs within 20, and gets it home. There you go, corridor footy. I think, Gavin, they got the message and they were able to... I reckon Swallow started that. His crunch in the middle of the ground kept the ball rolling.
It did, Bruce. And that's all you want, that you surge footy. And that keeps them in the game. They're not out of this.
Well, there you have it, Gavin Wanganeen. You asked for it and the Suns delivered. You wanted them to take the game on, take the balls, take grass, take risks, and that's exactly what we just saw.
Yeah, we saw a few good overlap handballs, which created, you know, run, and that's what the forwards want. And obviously the Carlton Blues don't want that, and there we go, get a shot on goal.
Stewie Drew looked happy. Matt Rowell is the coach's little pet these days, and he looked supportive of Stewie. And it's a real love fest down there. I'm loving the look of that setup. DeConey and Which wins this one. Cripps, though, just brutalises it out of the middle. Long ball forward. Casbolt, one-handed. Noons, Gibbons. They've been a menace all night. Walsh, little 360. Noons, sharp handball. Ed Curnow gets a look from 45. This'll kill them. This'll hurt them. Ed Curnow, big goal. That's exactly what Gold Coast didn't want to happen. It came from the brilliance of Cripps and Curnow. And it was the last thing that Gold Coast would have wanted. Back to 27 points.
In the NBT, that's really nice finish, wasn't it? Curnow, yep. Walsh involved in that play, but it's got a little bit of time and space just to squeeze that one through. And that's the improvement in this Carlton side, I think, this year. We know that they've lost a couple of close ones, but they've won a lot of close ones, and you can see the fans pretty happy that they answered that goal that the Suns kicked.
That's a big goal, Bruce. The pressure was coming from his right-hand side, and just had to get it on the boot quickly. Well done, Ed.
Did the same thing when Lemon's goal too, the other in the second term. So they've had quick replies. Cripps, Murphy, two of their finest players again tonight. DeConing to Walsh, and then Walsh with a high ball just forward 50. Martin at the back was Graham. Actually, Martin did well because I thought he was going to ground. Fisher, little give was terrific. Curnow rolling home another one, nearly. And then as a goalkeeper, basically, Collins able to keep it down to it behind. So the Blues with a big lead. That's a lopsided scoreboard, isn't it, when you look at it in shots on goal. So Lukosius here. So where does he go? Well, he goes out wide.
Oh, no, two on one. I know the one was Witts, but Cripps was there as well. Rankin's made amends, almost tackled when bouncing the footy. Got away with it, but there's not much on down the field. Corbett was 1 on 2. And now Simpson slots it up the middle.
Thanks, Ben. Clear out, Isaac. Hold there.
Petrevski-Seton. Slow ball, so just in a bit of control here at the moment. Carlton until they find a way through. Cripps back to Doherty.
Hold there. Play on.
See Cripps pointing where it should go, and they now successfully complete the transfer. Can Wiedering go as a result? Yes, he can. So it's a win for them. Long handball, deals a horrible handball to Williamson. Now Weller, he's got Miller running on the outside. Once again, a pretty easy entry inside 50, and just didn't get there, Ainsworth. Simpson read it better.
Yeah, he did. He read it. I mean, the body language was he was always going short, and Simpson saw that.
Hold top.
Been doing it for 300 games, so he's read a lot of those kicks.
They have been good, the Carlton backline, haven't they?
Yeah, no, they've, like I said, they've just out-muscled the Suns.
His positioning was superb, wasn't it, Simpson? Martin, Murphy, back to Martin, and then Martin, lovely little left foot. Oh, Eddie's been doing that all night, has he? He's had some, he just hasn't been able to take a mark. Other stuff he's done has been really constructive.
I reckon there's a slight willingness to be spending it before he's earned it as well.
That's exactly what he did there.
Yeah. No, it's a good call, BT.
I think we're slippery hands.
We're more disappointed than he is right now, to be honest, that he didn't take the mark, because we know what might have happened afterwards.
Yeah, that we are. He's had a couple of chest marks tonight and hasn't been able to get hold of them. Not kicking anywhere near as many goals, obviously, but he's a leader of the club. He's what they needed at this particular time, and he knows his value to the side is not just in goals. Good handball. Bit of a left foot talk there as Wiedering is able to climb on King and punch it away, but in doing so held him down with one arm. And so King, who's been ultra quiet tonight, just 2 touches of the footy, Bruce.
First kick there for him tonight, so Wiedering's had a great roll and done it superbly. Ellis with a long ball, not such high numbers for him. Good tackle, Miller. Is the advantage given? It is. Rankin, can he? Yeah, he'll kick a goal. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Gee, that's interesting, Bruce. That is very interesting. I reckon the free range that you give these guys can sometimes hurt you. Oh boy, I don't know what to say either, Bruce. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Can you say something?
It's three-quarter time. It's 20-47. It was a soda, wasn't it? And it turned out to be very messy. So a chance lost, not all completely gone, but Carlton have been the better team for 3 quarters. Gold Coast with it all to do.
Only 27 points. Yes. I mean, it's certainly, in terms of the scoreboard, you give them a chance, but in terms of general play, Carlton have played all over them tonight.
So we're about to find out if they can make some inroads at least, or can the Blues continue? Gee, Pitternet strong on Swallow there. That was a great follow-up by the ruckman. Anderson runs into Casbolt. Ballard belts the ball off the ground. Martin, he's been as good as anyone on the ground, I reckon, tonight. Lovely left foot. Harbrow goes towards the line now. Getting back Petrevski-Seton. Good pressure, Ainsworth. He's done that all night, and then Martin, that was terrific to get back. He's so quick across the ground. King, it's okay, got it to Corbett, back to Ainsworth. Ainsworth wobbles the ball forward. Lovely work by Flanders. Hooking back, not getting enough on it, and Jones takes the mark. So, BT, this defence you've talked to Duck about a fair bit, it has been impressive.
Yeah, led by this man here, and Doherty, of course. Yeah. You mentioned Martin at the other end or in the mid, and he's had 19 touches of the footy as well tonight, Bruce. So you're right, he has been good.
Wiedering and Doherty have just stood up all night, haven't they?
Plowman's another.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon. Play on.
To Koning here. Beautiful left foot slicer to another beautiful left foot in Fisher. Ed Curnow just gets the job done. Playing his most consistent football of his career, I reckon, at the moment. Here's Eddie. Yes, he marked that one, didn't let it go, and that's a magnificent kick to Mackay, who, remember, is a left footer. Couple of options here, run around on the left, which it looks, or a Noon's kick where he kicks the drop punt. Looks like he's going to run around on the left here. They feel like they make better connection with the boot with this kick around the corner. More reliable, that's magnificent. I think that's a goal. That is just superbly executed by umpire, doesn't agree.
Bit skinny. Bad camera angle, BT.
Didn't actually see the goals, but it looked pretty good off the boot duck.
It did.
No, it felt right, BT. I'm with you. It just,
Hold there.
he struck it sweetly. Here's Butterick.
Play on.
Short to Miller. That's what they've probably got to do, is move the ball quickly, but they couldn't penetrate. Heard the call. Greenwood. Back to Butterick. Little pokey one over the top to Lukosius.
Follow. Thanks, Zach. Move it on. Play on.
So Lukosius sort of demanded Corbett to come towards him. Taken Cottrell's leg, so free kick to the Blues.
Carlton ball, sorry.
So Cottrell, first-year player for Carlton.
It's long. Once again, Betts, another chest mark. Gee, I reckon that's his third or fourth chest mark that he has dropped off the mark tonight. Third or fourth. Highly unusual for a highly skilled player.
Out behind, Eddie. Out behind.
One of the most gifted ever. And made a bit of a mess of that. So Lukosius down the line looking for Flanders, but at the back, Plowman. Plowman down the line, finds an opportunity here with Mark Murphy leading all possession getters on the ground tonight is Murphy. That's a ripper to Ed Curnow. So Curnow reels and goes. 55-metre ball, almost Williamson. Mackay thought about it. I reckon he should have gone. Give it to De Koning. Centering ball. They can run here. Ballard missed a chest mark tonight as well. Picked up by Lukosius. Witts, little spearing handball. I think it was Ainsworth that got it out wide there, Bruce.
He did. Well done to Ellis. Gee, Mackay does not have a right foot after that a moment ago, does he? I mean, that would have been a soda. Gets to Corbett. I'm just intrigued about Eddie tonight because his use of the ball has been superb. His delivery to the forwards, but he's dropped so many marks. Gavin, what's going on, do you reckon, with Eddie tonight in the marking?
Yeah, he's not used to playing up here in Darwin. The humidity is extreme, and it's like a bit of a cake of soap at the moment. So you'll never see Eddie do that in the southern states, that's for sure.
Okay, so there you go. We've got a reason, PT, but it's been unusual to see. But he certainly, his use of the ball in the forward 50 has been delightful, to be truthful. He has delivered superbly, hasn't he?
Feet have been good, hands have been poor. And you're right about Mackay. He had a lot of space to kick that on his right foot.
Oh, Lukosius kicked it up the bum of Pitnet then. Did you see that? Right in the bottom. Unusual. It almost looked like it was half deliberate. Look, and he turned his backside into it.
It happens.
Hilarious. And some say not that funny. Pitnet out the back. Door. Lukosius again. Got the little slipper on it. Plowman the pickup. Simpson under pressure. Been like that many times now. He's made no effort, Flanders. He did in the end, though. Greenwood, Simpson again. Just come out with the head up and kicked it onto the boot. Casbolt juggling attempt, couldn't get it. Cripps kept it rolling in the Casbolt direction. And it'll be a Cripps free here at half-back.
He's played well. A lot of clearances, half a dozen clearances. He's won that inside battle, hasn't he, for most of the night?
Just got to learn to get a little bit more easier ball, Bruce. Everything he gets is in a tough, hard, contested situation.
That's Cripps.
Yeah.
But, Duck, will that happen as the team evolves around him or not? I mean, or is that just the way he's always going to play the game?
I think that's the way he's always going to play the game because of his size and strength, and I guess that's what they need to give it out to guys like Walsh.
Who gets the ball forward, Harbrow. Did okay, Ballard, but because he dropped the mark, they sort of go back 30 metres more than they should. That's a good kick by Budry, and that's a fine mark by a bloke you're impressed with, BT.
Well, they haven't won a Friday night game for yonks, the Blues. I reckon it's about 12 or 13 games, Bruce. You'd know the answer to that, I'd only guess, but it's been a long time since they've won a Friday night one. Any idea, Bruce?
You just guessed 12 or 13, did you?
Yes.
Duck, he's only asked it because it was North Melbourne. It was North Melbourne in 2014. But I'm not that clever. I had somebody whispering. I know one thing. Gold Coast have never won a Friday night game, BT. This is their first one.
First
Off
ever
you go.
tonight, of course. And the first ever here at this particular stadium as well. High ball. Slipping over there was Weller. A little punch away. And a shot at goal. And a minor score by King.
I think it's important to remember, Bruce, the stat that I think it might have been in the first half where you said they've got 6 players younger than Walsh on their side, Gold Coast Suns tonight. So gives you they've got a lot to look forward to. Hasn't been their night tonight, but geez, they've got some good young talent that are really starting to emerge.
I think so, Duck. And Carlton have got 6 of the oldest 7 out there as well at the other end.
Yeah.
Only Harbrow in the middle of that lot. So there's a big future in this team.
Holding the man, Carlton.
A big future in both these teams.
And Carlton, mind you, Carlton have had some low picks as well, haven't they?
They have. This whole match is full of top 5 draft picks, both teams. So Curnow, Carlton just a much more mature outfit. The old and the new for them. Bowes had a lot of the ball. Ellis, quiet match. Well done, Gibbons. He's been lively. Casbolt, Noons. He's played well. Curnow, lovely tackle on him. And now Ainsworth, who's been impressive.
Goes down the middle here. Wiedering just nudges the body quite deliberately. Got his man under the foot. He allowed Jones a little bit more time to pick it up. Little Chisler, beautiful kick to Mackay. Mackay will wheel and go across to the centre here. Kick wasn't what he'd hoped. Cottrell will mop it up for him though and make it look better than it actually was. High ball, exploring again. No Casbolt, Bowes. No other red jumpers around. Soccer off the ground, Noons. Goal. Noons gets an easy one. And it's a game-high 33-point lead here at the moment with the Blues.
Do you reckon he's played well? He's played. I'm just thinking, he's been a good player and he's not best on ground tonight, but you wonder if last week does give him something that he didn't have for the going forward?
Confidence, without a doubt.
What do you think, Duck? I mean, that freakish, miraculous goal that he kicked last week for Noons, does it give him the confidence to maybe go to the next level consistently?
Oh, well, I think when you do something like that and you win a game, you know, after the siren, your team, everyone's up, there's no doubt you can carry that confidence on into the next week, and he's done that as we have a look at the ladder. And you mentioned that percentage, Bruce, which is going to be all important for the Blues, isn't it? As they fight for that position with Collingwood, Melbourne, GWS, Bulldogs, all of those teams fighting for the same position.
And they've got Collingwood and GWS in the next 2 weeks, so absolutely vital that they put the foot to the floor now, BT, in the next few minutes and try and get as big a margin on the Gold Coast as possible.
Well, here they go, Bruce, inside 50. Here's Casbolt, game 136. The same as the great Sid Jackson played for the Blues. Off hands, Lemons. Murphy got tackled high. Witts retrieves. Miller, little fast,
Free kick,
little
Gold
heavy.
Coast, abuse.
On the handball
Gold
to
Coast,
Powell.
free kick.
I think you said
Your
abuse,
free
didn't
kick,
he?
abuse, downfield.
Robert Finlay.
Play on, play on.
So this will be a Powell free. Yeah, Levi Casbolt, 136. The same as Sid Jackson. And Sid Jackson, in this weekend, the Sir Doug Nicholls round, being honoured by the AFL for being someone that has laid the foundation for others to follow.
Play on.
Here's Collins. It's out wide here. King in front. Got hands on it. Couldn't really. Rankin. That was a clever little tap to Greenwood. Gee, it was fast. I don't know whether it was a handball or a flick. It was that fast. Wiedering. Really good. Petrevski-Seaton. Just a touch of magic it was. Now the Blues load up in the middle with Ed Curnow.
Got it from Doherty, and then he spreads it wide. Martin and Ellis. Gee, don't you love that duck? I mean, kept his feet. Could easily have gone to ground, Martin didn't. Cottrell's kicked to 50. Noons and a sandwich. Did pretty well. Here's Fisher, natural left footer. We know how quick he is in the gut running. Setterfield back to Koning. They're playing the two ruckmen tonight. De Koning forward 50. Well played by Walsh, but the tackle by Greenwood. Walsh improvised. Murphy's done everything but kick a goal tonight, and that still doesn't happen.
Gee.
He had Eddie Betts on his outside as well.
And Eddie needs another one, doesn't he?
Yep.
Well, he should have been given that one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You've got a senior player. Eddie's down just a touch.
And you're right about Martin, Bruce. He is all class, isn't he?
Yep. Rankin, little party trick between the legs there. Setterfield. Collins got to stand and deliver. Hope he wasn't going to get crunched from behind. Lukosius with almost a throw out of the middle. Through comes Ainsworth. He's straight at the football-type footballer. Lukosius, little soccer off the ground. Look at the speed of De Koning against Powell on this occasion. Kept his feet, the big fella. Missed the ball, I must admit. But on the go is Powell. Soccers it to himself. Clever little pickup. Now the finishing kick is good. Really good. And an opportunity for Flanders. Good stuff from Powell all the way from half-back. Just the 3 goals tonight for Gold Coast. They've got North Melbourne next week. Their last win was against Sydney in round 7. Had some tight ones between now and then, of course, including the draw. Here is Flanders from 35 metres out. That's a goal, no problems. Yeah, so when I look at Gold Coast, 4 wins for the year and the draw in round 11 with the Bombers. Got North next week, then a bye, then Brisbane, Collingwood. So it's just about not ruining what the work they've done already and at least being competitive, which they have been so much more competitive this year. So dream time tomorrow night, Bruce. It's going to be a huge night here. The fans, we know, loved it. Bruce, the tickets sold out in, what, just a few minutes?
Couple of minutes, Abby told us earlier. And have a look at those 2 guys on the left. How popular are they going to be tomorrow night?
And Irving Mosquito selected for his first game, Bruce. And you wouldn't believe it. It's Worldwide Mosquito Day yesterday on the day that he was selected. How about that?
I've made a note of it, BT. Well, let's hope he makes his mark tomorrow night.
Holding Carlton.
You wouldn't read about him, Bruce.
Here's Cripps. BT, you continue to amaze me. Cripps going long and long, and Casbolt nearly. I was almost hoping he wasn't to kick a goal then, because you and I messed up the commentary so much talking about mosquitoes.
Only talking facts. There's Ellis. Slider, Lukosius. That laconic.
The man, Gold Coast.
Right foot, so here's May. Through the middle of the ground. A little bit too much to do there for Corbett, too high. Ed Curnow, he just does what he has to do, Ed. He's such a pro. He's a pro the way he prepares and the way he plays, his whole mindset. Such a good example. Kick out wide, looking for Setterfield and Walsh. They could raffle it. Walsh with great poise. Setterfield, and ball, he was out of bounds before he let it go.
And BT, you mentioned Curnow, you think of Charlie, don't you?
Yes.
You just think of what might be in the next 12 months.
Yep. Gee, that is an ingredient they're missing, isn't it?
He's had a horror run for the last 12 months, hasn't he?
What was it, a game of basketball, Bruce?
Yep, and he would make, well, a massive difference to any team if he can fully recover. But that's, of course, for the future. Here's Cripps. Greenwood. He's tried hard, Greenwood, but he's just been outgunned a bit tonight. Walsh, there is Ed Curnow. Did it the hard way, didn't he, Curnow? Through the crows. Gee, De Koning, every now and then he gives you a glimpse of what might be permanently. It's exciting. Cripps to Setterfield, and then Setterfield to centre half forward. Mackay, Fisher roved it beautifully. Little give. Gibbons is clever. And Collins, goal kept well. Gibbons is a nice foil, isn't he? For Betts and the rest of them. He's doing well.
Yep.
With Collins there. Sam Collins looks like a tough competitor. Straight up the middle, Gold Coast. Go and a direct turnover. Plowman's going to send it back in low to Mackay. And he's had a good night. Kick two, missed a couple. Been a presence in what Gavin described and Abby have described all night, the difficult conditions with the moisture here. So Mackay just inside 50. And he's pulled it to the right.
He could have kicked 5, BT. I know he's only got 2. He could have kicked 5 tonight, couldn't he? He's played well enough. He's had enough shots on goal. But it's been an impressive performance by a team that's lurking in the shadows of the 8.
Advantage player. No.
So it was coming back to Swallow.
Set.
So back to Sam Day. It's been hard for the big forwards tonight, and I think one of the big things that's been reaffirmed tonight is this back six for the Blues. It's a good mix. Petreski-Seaton's another member of that that's stable. Jones has been terrific. Wiedering's been the leader with Doherty.
Yeah, against obviously a young Suns forward line. And King obviously in his first year, still developing, but they've taken full advantage of it. They've controlled the air down there in their back half, the Blues. Been too strong in the one-on-one contests.
There's the Telstra tracker there, Jones. There's Walsh. And the Blues with just 2.5 minutes remaining. Eddie, little foot race, needed to be clean. Lukosius on his tail just pushed him out of the way, and that's deliberate, out of bounds.
And unfortunately for Eddie, that's another fumble. Yep. I mean, if he takes that clean, he's off.
A rare mistake, I reckon there. That's as deliberate as you get. May to Koning in front. As Bruce said, growing in confidence. Fisher, who's so clean, came back into the side a couple of weeks ago. And we'll throw it in here once again. 2:13 remaining in this game. So the Blues winning form is going to continue. They'll win game number 6, and they've got Collingwood at the Gabba next week. And that'll be a ripper. And we'll just see how far the Blues can push.
To Koning and Day. Miller, Swallow, he's battled well in his 150th. Harbrow, the only other player to have played 150 in the Suns' decade history. Plowman, well done Anderson, kicks it forward. One of the things that I reckon we'll investigate with Abby, who's played a lot of footy up here, and Gavin as well, BT, at the end of the match, is recovery from a match like this. I mean, it's hot. You can see the players are exhausted. I mean, we're on a roller coaster, aren't we? We're on a treadmill this season. It's fast turnaround footy. Just how the teams recover from a night like tonight in the humidity and the heat of the night. So, and how they go about that. I mean, Carlton have already done 2 lots of quarantine this year, both in Queensland and Perth, and made their way to Darwin. Here's Walsh. He got it from Cripps. It's a good build-up, BT.
To Cottrell, who banged it inside 50 to Mackay. And Mackay marks directly in front, and to add on top of that, Bruce, the only good thing that these clubs both have going for them, they've both got 9 days until their next game of footy. So it's a mini break for them. But here is Mackay. It's goal number 3 or 4 here for Mackay. And he comes, kick of 45, he's missed that as well. So it's could have been a very big night in terms of goals from Mackay. He's played well and got the footy, admittedly.
He's made it look like a dry ball at times, hasn't he?
Yep.
And he hasn't kicked terribly, has he? I mean, they haven't been missing by a whole lot, but the Blues are 7 goals, 17, and they could have been far better than that. And he's, unfortunately, one of the reasons, and yet he's had a very good night.
It is an interesting thing, Bruce, that set shot goal kicking. I mean, for 100 years, the average over those 100 years has been about 62, 63% conversion. So basically footballers of all shapes, sizes and quality kick 6 out of 10. That's what they do. They kick 6 out of 10. So, I don't know.
Well, the Blues tonight are 2-6. Duck, I reckon this is one of the most interesting kicks of the night. This is the area that Paddy, this is a really important area for him.
Yep.
And it's the one thing he doesn't do very well.
No, we've
set shots.
There's a number of our superstar midfielders that get a little nervy in front of goal. I'm not going to mention them all, Brian.
No, there's no Jack Nunes there.
They know who they are.
High footy.
So
knocked down, picked up by Miller. Siren sounds. First Friday night footy played in Darwin at TIO. First time the Gold Coast have played in a Friday, and I think it's 13 Friday night games since Carlton won their last Friday night game.